Rebel with a cause. BK all day, baby. It's rebel season. The real rebels are back. I got the mind of a king. Should really protect them. Everybody talking, but rebel really the next. I got the mind of a king. Spread to never take this. Slavery, fake hip hop, you dead if you were racist. I got the mind of a king. You could never replace this. Blood from the mud, no love, so I'ma say I got the mind of a king. I know where I am from now. I'ma wake 'em up, you keep 'em sleep, it's up to me. I got the mind of a king.
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Rebels Roundtable.
We back.
Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell on YouTube. Africa, that's right.
Start loving Africa, man. What's up?
That's right. We're about to have a dope sister on the show, Tiffany L. French, straight out the A, y'all. And she want to talk about the violence that's happening in Atlanta right now. So yeah, that's gonna be the topic of our show. She also have a YouTube. You can follow this sister on Facebook, Tiffany L. French. YouTube channel. It's Tiffany L. French. And she got a lot of information. She talk about a lot of issues that's dealing with our people out here. So check her out. Hello, brother Rebel.
Peace to the God.
Word.
What's the word?
Not much.
Nah, man, I think this is the first time I heard of the sister, so.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so good. She sound powerful. So.
Oh, yeah, she in the movement, man. She from Atlanta. You know, over the past few years, well, several years, I've been, every once in a while I see her at the events, the Afrocentric Pan-African events that's be thrown here in the A.
That's all they are. There ain't no other events. They all pan.
Yeah, and then I've been following this sister on Facebook for about a year. She do a lot of PowerPoints and everything, So yeah, we're about to get down with Tiffany French.
Yeah. Let me give a shout out. Salute to my man Ross Ices at Vegan Dream Donut.
Yeah. What up, Ice?
Vegan popcorn. And
he got the vegan popcorn out now?
Yeah, man.
Man.
This, man. So yeah, big that up. And my man, Rugby. Salute Brooklyn, man. Flatbush legend, man. Oh, I'm gonna put this in the description, man. My youngin', man, he got his own clothing line. He do music.
Oh yeah.
Just, more growth. More growth.
That's right. Support black businesses, y'all. It's a must. Yep.
Support our businesses, man. REBALVISION.com.
That's right.
Tell them. ChemistryClothing.com.
Ancient Chemistry in the house.
You know what I mean? KNS Apparel, man.
We got KNS Apparel. We got Aesthetics Apparel. You know what I mean? We're going to be dropping some little promos and little videos, you know what I'm saying, pretty soon. Let y'all check out our merch, that dope Afrocentric merchandise. Yeah. You know what I mean?
A lot of new fire. Salute to whoever made this garbage hoodie. I forgot. But my man. It's cold outside, baby.
Oh yeah. You deal with it.
Nah, it's cold outside. The souls are demons, man.
Oh yeah. It's been like that way for a minute.
I don't know, the Walking Dead, remember that? The first
I remember that Walking Dead, the movie.
The real first one though, when they wanted the brains Brains. So
You talking about the one that was done in black and white?
Yeah, the original.
Yeah, I remember that when I was a kid.
They wanted brains, and that's what's missing. So
Yep.
I correlate that shit. Be like,
yep.
They want your brain, my nigga. Don't let them have it.
That's right.
You gotta be a think champ, yeah. But good looking for everybody who's been watching the show and showing love. We're gonna promote the show a lot more larger, and everything gonna look like it should look.
Yeah, for those who've been looking at the show, we appreciate the support. And we really appreciate all the positive feedback.
Yeah, we're getting some good feedback too, brother.
Yeah.
I don't know. They telling us they need us right here. It's this
right
place right here.
Dude, they need to see something real. Something real live in effect, you know what I mean? Too much bullshit out here, man. People getting tired of the bullshit. People ready for some real shit.
You say, I'm a famous YouTuber.
I'm a big YouTuber. Man, fuck all that shit.
Big YouTuber, man. Fuck YouTube. One more again.
I'm a big YouTuber.
Nah, man.
Well, if they shut your ass out for YouTube, you see how they done Young Pharaoh shit. They got there by fucking banned them from YouTube and some shit like that.
Better have your own website, Patreon.
Yeah. That was.
But yeah, speaking of that, everything will be archived on REBALVISION.com anyway.
Right.
So as far as what we do, we gonna try and use the system, but as soon as they get wind of what we really doing, they might block this shit. So then
Mike, look, in due time they go block this shit. They don't want us talking like this, you know, positivity to our people. Talking about some real things and uplifting our people and everything. Talking about liberation. They don't want to hear that. They never want to hear no shit like that.
Showing people how to really give people their flowers.
Right.
Let them, they the one man show.
Right.
One female show. We just want they structure documented. Here you go, D. Big up Sundiata and
Sundiata
and Henri, because I heard they did their thing. And all the other brothers, D Chambers and all y'all, bro. I heard it was
Mike Chambers, all them coming through February 11th, 12th, and 13th. All of them is gonna be dope. What's up, brother Knowledge?
What's going on, man?
Brother Knowledge, know the ledge. What up?
Knowledge born 7 in the house. What's up, brother?
How y'all doing, man?
Hey, man, doing good, man. You know.
Yo, that hat is fire, son. What's that?
That's one of my old joints.
Yeah, that's old.
I didn't retire him.
You had the wings up there. That one looked.
Yeah, Mayat wings with the E in the middle for aesthetics.
That looked tough right there.
I got your hoodies too. I just bring them with me. You coming out February 11th?
Yes, sir.
I'll bring them with me.
Gotcha. Yeah, already. See, fast work, people. You order from D, you're gonna have it ready.
Yeah, I'm stepping it up, man, now, so it's gonna be really ready now.
Yeah, you gotta go to the Aesthetics Apparel. Check them out on Instagram, Facebook, and all that.
Yo, we be giving y'all the last look. There's more. Pick up the Kings County clothing, red and blue. Blue got his own shit too. I don't even know Blue clothing line. I think he's trying to make it high end, but go check out Blue Pill too.
Yeah.
Athletics. And all that though. We got Wingy Apparel.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's time for this. It's time for this conscious fashion show, man.
Go get your kicks and the gas footwear.
Yeah, can't forget about the gas footwear.
Ram Omar, if you got some real money, go check Ram Omar.
Yeah.
Nah, man, we got a lot of clothing lines, man. We not even naming them all.
Nope.
Black Eye Brand, my man Black. He coming up. This should look good. Just saying, we never have to wear Nike if we don't want.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the whole goal.
And I say that to say this: you should not wear no brand that represents the corporation of the United States of America. That's just facts. Any shareholders of the corporation of the United States of America, Nike, Target, Walmart, any of these corporations, you should not represent them.
Everything you just said, I 100% agree with. But what he mean by that is we giving the oppressor our money, and
yep,
we were tricked into that, and we feed off that because we want the Jordans, but we don't realize them shits might be paying for jail cells and all that. So
yeah, and he telling the truth because a lot of the shareholders of the Corporation of the United States of America do invest in private prisons, and you know they private because they held up on the trust. They held up on the trust accounts. You know what I'm saying? And trust laws before United States law.
Yes, sir.
And you know what I'm saying?
And people don't really realize that little trick. And the government got them promising 95% jail.
Yes.
See,
yes, that was one of the things I learned in studying commerce. They got an agreement. United States of America have agreement with the corporations of the jails, and that they will keep them full. Now the agreement is also dealing with investments, and when you invest into the jail system, when you invest in the jail system, they say you are investing in beds, but in order for you to invest in a bed, someone has to be in that bed.
Mm-hmm.
And also, too, man, when we are born, man, we hear about all these logos and entities and stuff like that. We shouldn't be held by them, man. We should have our own. We should have make our own logos, our own entities, and then on top of that, man, they using our information, they using our logos, and making they Fortune 500 companies up under our symbols.
That's why
because they have no identity.
That's why it works too, because deep down in our blood, we recognize the symbolism. Even without knowing. So those ancient sacred shapes, we be knowing. Come on. Yo, I used to bang on dudes and be like, yo, y'all serious, yo? The cracker he had to have found every tomb we had buried. Don't he got Solar, that other ion? Can he just look through the damn rocks?
I think they can, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not privy to the information, but I will say this though. They have a lot of technology for scanning this earth, man.
That's what I'm saying, man. They know where Saul was at. My aunt's real tomb. They got the real.
And they took, and listen, and they really weren't there for the artifacts. They were there for certain things out of certain tombs. And a lot. Remember, it was a fire in the ocean or something like that. I'm gonna get the story for you, man. This happened not too long ago. I think maybe last year. That right there was something dealing with something spiritual. And they found a massive weapon from back in the day. I think they found a weapon that was kind of dealing with Nebuchadnezzar or something like that. But yeah, man. I mean, they slick with it. So I mean, we have to be conscious of a lot of things that go on. And not just that, that's why it's so important for us to learn our divinity and our lineage and learn the different symbolism. All the Fortune 500 companies use our stuff, man. They use the dung beetle. They use the wings of my yacht. They use even the medical field, man. They use that one symbol in the medical field that has to do with the Kundalini. They are obsessed. A lot of the elite are obsessed with the pineal gland. And it's just they use a lot of our symbols, especially the pyramid. They tell us the pyramid wrong, don't use it. A lot of Fortune 5. I just seen like 3 companies that just went public on a stock exchange, and they symbol is dealing with the triangle, which represents the pyramid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That lets us know who they are, though.
Yeah, if they invaders, imposters, man. And we are
word.
prisoners of war.
We know.
You know what I'm saying? We are prisoners of war. And when you're dealing with prisoners of war, then you fall into the slave ship. Slave ship, not slave ships, but you fall into the slave mentality, and that's what they impressed upon us. And that's what the Willie Lynch letter was, man. They said if we can impress upon the melanated black man and woman subconsciously, they will always be slaves. Check out the picture on Django. When Django killed the white boys and had them in the cage, he opened up the cage and let them out. Did they go out? Nope, they didn't come out. Then you also got to read the book on Destruction of Black Negro.
Yeah.
It was impressive in our subconscious. Only one woman bucked the system when she did not go to the back of the bus. That was Rosa Parks. That's in that book. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with the Black Negro. But everybody else walked to the back of the bus because they already knew it. You know what I'm saying?
I sit in the front of the bus, brother.
Well, we don't ride buses no more, so you know how that is.
Yeah. We got our own wheels.
Yeah, but everything is dealing with the subconscious of the mind. That's why you get into the laws of nature, man. The first law is mentalism, man. What's up, Obasi?
Yo.
What's up, man? I'm just over here hollering at Rebel, man. We live already, ain't we?
Obasi the Rebel. What up?
What's up, G? Yeah, man, I was just listening to what y'all was saying. I ain't cut in. I was just listening.
Well, yeah, definitely that's one of the first law of nature is mentalism, man, dealing with the mind. Everything you do is dealing with the mind. When you get into the Masons, they tell you about dealing with the mind. You get into the Rosicrucians, dealing with the mind. Any school of thought is going to be dealing with the mind. Even in Christianity, man. Christianity, it's the same way as dealing with the mind. It says, be not transformed unto this world, but be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. That's King James Christian Bible. Islam, the same thing, dealing with the mind, the mental effect. You know what I'm saying? The mental Allah will guide you. That's dealing with that, man. And masonry, you know what I'm saying? Then I can throw you a lot of books that a lot of people have read dealing with the mind, man. What can go?
He popped out.
Okay.
But no, that's chime in. What you saying is real. And to go back to that's our stuff. Whether if you looking in, because a lot of times if you read books like the New World Order, and you read where they telling you about the Masonic secrets and all of this, a lot of that is African culture.
Yeah, they ain't got no secrets.
Yeah, they spin it in a way to make you think that it's outside. And even how you was going back to the Kundalini and the medical symbol, that's Hermes. You know, so if you look at Hermes and you see that symbol, Hermes is a Greek. So, you know, we giving Greek culture African phenomenon or African understanding.
And for the people out there is no Hermes Trismegistus. It was Tahuti, which is Jehuti. Thought.
Oh, when you better get Tahuti, yeah. And so they call it thought.
Yeah, thought. You know what I'm saying? They also call it
yeah, that's even the understanding when you saying, like, I know what people saying when they say Egypt, but we must put it in its proper form, Kemet, because Egypt is its Greek form. So a lot of us get comfortable in that and understand, but that's not its original form. So that's why it's not its original
form, man. We've been deceived, man. I'm standing up under that Malcolm X spirit right now, man. Bamboozle, hoodwink, man. It's just retarded, man. And I give Malcolm a lot of props, man, for exposing a lot of things, man, and making certain moves and letting people know, man, what's real with the culture. You know what I'm saying? And not to have no fear. Even though he didn't say what fear mean, what I would say today, but he stood on it, not to have no fear, man. It's just ridiculous how we keep falling for the same thing, man. They speaking, they didn't make their own language. We speaking their own language, which is a bastardized language. They giving us their education, which is they giving us their spiritual system, Western European religion, Western European culture, in the Western European society, and then they got the audacity to say we ain't nothing. Where would the Western world be without African culture? Let me get close, man. Where would the Western world be without African culture, man? The platinum, the diamond, the gold, the coca. What would y'all be? It wouldn't be no Western European world. It'd be all Africa.
But see, that's why I be banging on them elbows and them. We been here before, we Americans. That's why I bang on that talk, because there's a book right here that I'm in, and I suggest everybody get this book.
Yeah.
It's called Hood Americanism. It's by this dude named David Chalmers. And you see that, and see, this is the thing that I break down to them. What's that right there?
American flag.
The American flag. So
hold on, hey boss, let me ask you a question. Is that OBASI? Is that the original American flag with the stars in a circle?
No, it's not Betsy Ross. That's not the one Betsy Ross.
Okay. All right.
That's not that one. That's the one after. This is the one that they using now. So I understand a confused Negro when I see a black man or a black woman claiming this flag that your mortal enemy. See, because a lot of times we'll talk about the what's the other one? The
matter of fact, I'm finna change my thing right now.
The what is it? I'm catching a knowledge overload. Confederate flag. And so if we go back to Fannie Lou Hamer, our ancestor Fannie Lou Hamer, and she talks about this type of culture, this flag that got our blood drenched on it. A lot of us like to talk about the Confederate flag, but we don't want to talk about the war under the American flag. And so now you got American Negroes or Americanized Negroes, and that back, like you said, Malcolm knowledge. He said, show me one of these Negroes that call themselves an American. I'll show you one that's been thoroughly brainwashed. He said, we'll say, oh, I ain't left nothing in Africa. He said, you left your mind in Africa. So when we really, there's a series on Amazon Prime, and it's called Them, THEM. And I suggest all of us check that out right there, because that's in the middle of like the Reconstruction, right, fresh off the Civil War. And this is when black people moved into white neighborhoods. This is when Compton, in this series, Compton is a white neighborhood. Mm-hmm. So you seeing black folks coming into this, and the stuff that's going on. This hood Americanism, and they got, and to the point they got a scene, and I don't want to give it away, but they got a scene where the black lady is sitting in the room with all of these creepy white women. And the white woman asked her, she said, what was your language where you came from? And she said, huh? She said, what language did you speak where you came from? She said, well, I guess American, I can't really remember. And I'm paraphrasing a bit. She said, I can't really remember where I come from, but I'm American. And they laughed at her. Because the real American white man, American white woman, they laughing at the Tariq Nasheeds. They laughing at these niggas running around talking about we Americans. Africa ain't ours. It's sickness. We don't even want it now. This is why, to your point, dog. This is why that they getting away with it, because we won't hear and look at China. China over there, because China know what Africa is.
Yeah, man, they rap. They sucking it down like vampires.
Everybody.
Man, they sucking it down, man.
My grandma said, I'm an American. Your grandma also told you religion was real.
Well, you got to realize too, man, a lot of information that we are privy to now, they were not privy to, especially coming out of certain situations dealing with.
So how do we? That's fact. But how do we manage to get worse than them? And we got way more knowledge than they have, and we run around
because when the Europeans saw that we were affecting their commerce and affecting the different things in society, they buckled down on it. You know what I'm saying? They got stricter with the laws. they enforce their hand.
Oh, let me show it. I don't want to cut you, but let me show the piece to the guys.
Yeah, peace to the guys, man. You already do it. You know we do it, man.
Oh yeah,
but no, go back to your point, bro. I ain't mean to cut you. Go back to your point.
You good. You good. You not even forget my point, man. But yeah, man, they buckle down, man. Check it out. When we stopped getting on the buses, man, they was begging us to get back on the bus, man. We affected their commerce. You know what I'm saying? And every time we tried to do something as far as us stepping up in society, you got to think about it. Okay, they bomb woke.
I don't know.
They bomb Black Wall Street.
No, because remember the MOVE organization too. Remember what they did to the MOVE organization in Philly?
Yeah, not woke MOVE. I'm sorry about that. Not woke MOVE. MOVE.
Yeah,
that was in Philly, right? In Philly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. Every time we do something, man, they counteract it, man. It's like it's like in the books I read. You know what I'm saying? You kill the leader, so that everybody else will see it and they'll fall in line. You know what I'm saying? And man, the laws, man, we went from slavery to mental. Well, we was already mental slavery. But we did go from mental slavery to regular slavery to prison.
But look though, bro. Go back to your Django analogy when you say he opened up the cage. That's exactly.
Yeah, man. You know, that's what I'm saying. The impression of the mind, man. That's one thing I'm glad, man. When I came into knowledge, man, I started learning about mentalism, the mind, man, mind control. Another thing too, at us being melanated men, we supposed to learn how to control our memories. That's another key thing, and we have to also learn to impress our own thoughts. We have to move in a very strategic way where we're thinking and we move in certain mind patterns, M-I-N-D, mind patterns. Now, the whole thing of the Willie Lynch letter, man, was to impress upon them subconsciously, so they wouldn't have to keep running after us, telling us, you know what I'm saying, to do this and do that. And it worked. You know what I'm saying? And the same theory in the movie Django, Jamie Foxx blew up the white boys, opened up the cage, and the black dudes did not even get out the cage because it was impressing their mind subconsciously to be in that cage. You get what I'm saying? It's a couple of movies where it's impressed upon the melanated man and woman mind to do a certain thing. You know what I'm saying? And you could take it as far as this, man, how the Europeans deemed themselves to be superior, stealing out information from Kemet, which they call Egypt. That's not what it called. And they call and trying to give us their spiritual system, which is not a real spiritual system because their spiritual symbol is on the walls of the pyramids, which makes it a fraud. You know what I'm saying? They impressing upon our minds to show that they're a superiority. So when a black man or a black woman goes into a particular building or anything like that, you see white people, they start to fear because it's been impressed upon them. Fear. False evidence appearing real. Those are just facts. The evidence is false. It appears real, but until you break your mental the right way, you get what I'm saying? Till you break your mental the right way and you see the real reality and you start learning your divinity and your lineage, of course it's going to appear real to you. So that's what they impress upon us. They go with the mental, man. If they impress upon us subconsciously, mentally, and then they impose upon us with fear, then we just fall in line. And each leader that bucked the system should have had some form of security to protect them. You know what I'm saying? These people in the conscious community are important, man. The elders who were doing consciousness and until the revolution, 40, 50 plus years. But now everybody want to be a leader.
It's a free fall, man. It's everybody a leader. Oh, you got 100,000 followers? Oh, you a leader? Oh, you know what I'm saying? Oh, you did a good little speech, a lecture. You a leader.
Peace to the queens.
We got the system, man.
How you doing?
Hey, what's going on? What's going on, gentlemen? How y'all doing?
How you doing?
Technical difficulties, especially on my end.
Welcome to Rebels.
How you doing, sister?
You doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me on here.
Yeah, man. Nice seeing you again. You know, like I said, I followed you on. I've been following you on Facebook for about a year. You know, sometime I, get a chance to check you out. Sometime I don't, but I didn't realize you had a YouTube page until last week when you made a post that you got up to 500 subscribers on YouTube. So when you had posted that I hurried up and subscribed.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, we got Rebel with a cause. You know, he the one that started Rebel Vision television. You know, he the host. Of course, you know I'm KENWARDO. We got the brother Knowledge Born 7, and we got the brother OBASI. And I know you want to talk about the violence that's going down in the city of Atlanta today. You know, so.
Oh yeah. You know, the constant increase of violence that's taking place, and you know that's been going on. I mean, it's been going on forever, but you know what I'm saying, like it increased like in the past 2 years. It seemed like ever since the whole situation with Rayshard Brooks, the young man that was killed over there at the Wendy's, it's like the increase of violence was going up. And then at one point, the police, half of the police department, they had quitting because they like, okay, if we can't really do what we have to do, and y'all, that whole boycott about cutting down on the police pay and stuff like that, it's like, well, okay, well, we'll just go ahead and just, you know, we'll turn our badge in, we'll give our guns up or whatever. So it's like the violence had just increased it for the past 2 years. I mean, you see a lot of violence going on at Lennox Mall, the Fields Plaza, Buckhead, and you know, and even on the highways, like when you go downtown Connecticut, when you get on 285 or I-75, etc., you know, they having highway shooting and stuff like that. Even when you go to the gas station, it's like, you know, there's a lot of robberies taking place at gas stations. So that's why most people don't feel comfortable going to the gas station, especially at night. And if they do, they gotta make sure they have a weapon on them because they never know what's gonna happen. So and what I noticed and what really made me speak on is like a lot of the violence that's happening here is mostly amongst Black women. And so, well, you know, mostly 2 Black women, pretty much. You know, it seems like Black women become the #1 victim of violence out here in Atlanta. And it becomes very concerning, like, okay, well, where's the community that is needed to protect these individuals, you know, the sisters especially. So this is where the serious conversation I come in. Well, you know, you see that so many women become a victim of violence out here, whether it be domestic violence, whether it be a drive-by shooting, or whether it be like some random robbery or whatever. It's like, where's the protection? Like, there was an incident downtown over there, well, not downtown, on Northside Drive, right where the Mercedes-Benz Stadium is at, right over there by that area. So it was a woman and her boyfriend. They was walking, you know, down that long side area. They was walking on the sidewalk, and some guy had approached her, and, you know, she told the guy she was not interested. Her boyfriend happened to be there. So the guy had turned around and shot her in the leg, right in front of her boyfriend. Yeah. Because she rejected him. Yeah. Then it was another case where there was a woman that was with a group of her friends, and then there was some guys there was a guy, he was with his friends or whatever, and he was trying to talk to the woman. She wasn't interested in. He tried to pull the gun out her and try to shoot her and her friends because she rejected him. So it's like, well, you know, now you got to really get down to, you know, bringing the attention to the public that, all right, this is going on. The violence is increasing, especially with Black women. What do we need to do about this? How do we really bring about public safety concern to our community?
Wow, we need to get organized. I mean, we do. You know, I've been hearing different little stories. I haven't really checked it out, but I do know since Rashad got killed, it has been increased, but it mainly has been Black on Black crime. So I don't think that was the objective. Well, I don't think that's the objective and the message that that we should be sending. One, we got to stop doing crime amongst each other, and 2, we have to really educate the men about the importance of the Black woman. You know, we got to get unified, and I feel you on that, sister. I'm serious, you know, because I heard sisters, man. They go hard on brothers, man. When I say hard, I holler at a sister in the West End, man. She would tell me all the stuff going on in the West End. Then they got I think they got some type of bar, not a bar, a club or something in the West End. They say they be out there fighting and stuff.
Oh.
Then over there by Tassili's, well, not Tassili's, but 640. I guess they renting that building. They got spaces rented out in that building next to 640. They be fighting in there. So, and it's mainly us fighting. You know, we got to stop that. That's the whole thing right there. You know, and we do need some men or a group of us that kind of put some form of awareness out. One, the importance of the Black woman, and two, how not to do crime amongst each other. You know what I'm saying? And that's, you know, and that's, I talk about it a little bit, but that's also dealing with the mental disease that we have. And also OBASI speak on it too. You know, Black men go through a lot as far as in society and stuff like that. And we have let the corruptness of Western European society impose upon us, and we just out here, man, chaotic. You know, we really gotta get knowledge of self. That's real important, for real. Knowledge of self, and defend our women, because without the woman, there is no Black race. That's the same thing. With there's no manifestation, and there's no reproducing. You know what I'm saying? So you can't reproduce. Or the women, you know what I'm saying? They're going to go to other races, which they are doing now, you know, because they feel like the Black man ain't doing what he's supposed to do. And by them going to other races, it's kind of bad, because there's not a pure race. That's number one.
Right.
And number two, if they go to a whole nother race, it definitely is not going to be a pure race.
Exactly.
So we definitely got to protect the Black women, and we got to unify, and we got to stop the crime. We got to stop the crime. This is crazy. Now,
this is where I stand. Okay, I'm an advocate of self-defense. You know, women, particularly the right to carry weapons. I mean, because you know, with times like this going on, especially with the increase of violence happening in the city. I believe that it's very important that women have some form of weapon. You don't have to necessarily be a gun. You know what I'm saying? It could be a knife or something, but guns at this time it is more preferable, because look at the direction where it's going. So yep. So that, and then also I also wanted to speak on the whole bomb threat situation that's happening at the HBCUs. So in total, it's 8 of them that have received the bomb threats, including Spelman and Fort Valley State University. Okay, yeah, they don't receive bomb threats and whatnot. So I think to me, it sounds like it's racially motivated. It sounds like it's a way to bring some type of control. Yeah, it seems like it's a way to use it as a scare tactic, or bring some type of control over.
We can hear you.
Okay, he was on the phone. My bad. Yeah, it seemed like it was some type of scare tactic. It's like something's going on. It's like putting fear into, the Black facility, Black institution, to keep them from pretty much, being proud of who they are, being able to market themselves or put themselves out there. So it seemed like some other group may feel intimidated, and unless it can be proven otherwise, I feel like it's like motivated by those who are in the privileged class, the dominant group, those oppressors. I mean, because if you got a total of 8 HBCUs that's receiving bomb threats, then there's something going on. That lets you know something is taking place. It's like a greater issue. So that means that it had to be racially motivated.
Wow. I do want to ask you a question. So the HBCU is receiving bomb threats. So so when you receive a bomb threat, what happens? They shut the school down?
Yeah, they shut the school. Okay, so what they'll do is, like, of course, they have to notify the authorities and stuff like that, and then they have to shut down the classes for, like, you know, a couple of days or a couple of weeks until, you know, it's, you know, until they get until they are told to open up and have the classes in session. But until then, yeah, that's what happened. A lot of them, they those schools, they pretty much closed down their classes. They, you know, cancel classes for that particular day or for like a couple of days until they know everything is clear. And someone went virtual, you know, someone went virtual, but yeah, that's what they do. So yeah, they, of course, you have to notify the authorities. You gotta take that because that's something very serious.
I would like to say, and I agree, first of all, with what both of y'all are saying. But when we talk about like, that's why I want us to really, I always like to talk about the psyche and the methodology behind black on black violence. Because when we really talk violence, if we talk World War I, it was Europeans versus Europeans. They might have been in different sections. So to me, this is my opinion, it was when it was white on white violence, they had something to gain out of it. And so now we so frustrated that we have never been, and you know, we was talking about things before you came in, and Knowledge was making a analogy of Django, and he says when they opened up the cage to let them out, they didn't go free. Well, we're kind of stuck in that cycle, because how do you inflict pain on a race of people for hundreds of years? Give them guns, and they use it against their own. See, and it's that mental mind screw. And that's why I always tell people about the Tavistock Institute. I always talk about the Tavistock Institute, because we have to understand how we were socially engineered. So we don't have, we're not allowed, I would say we've never been allowed to take out violence on nobody but each other. Because if we take it out on anybody else, it's a consequence. So, you know, I do think we really have to do something about it. But I think where we start is we got to start really making it cool to love on our women. We got to start making it cool to protect our women, because even still to this day, when we hear all these little moist men on these platforms, whether it's the Manosphere, whether it's Kevin Samuels, whether it's all of these, and they pushing this this misogynist black women, you know, this high value man, this is crap. This is European crap that need to be stepped on. And what it does is it leaves black women unprotected. And you'll see them, they'll go to any other race, like what Knowledge was saying, they'll go to any other race of women and protect them. You know, look at, prime example, look at Jeezy. Look at young Jeezy right now at this point. You know, he goes through a crowd of sisters and then goes to an Asian or whatever she is. And, you know, so that's what happens. So what it is, we got to start making it cool, and we have to really start having real dialogue more like this, but we have to, like, put it in concrete. We got to put some motion behind it. Because I'm with you, sis, that I've seen something where I think this was like in New York, where a dude tried to approach a sister and get her number, and she was like, no. And he asked her again, and he turned around and hit her in the face with a skateboard. And his homies was laughing. They was like, yo, you just KO'd her. You see what I'm saying?
Now, I heard about one in Harlem where the girl was going in, getting her a wine or something before she was headed home, and a group of guys approached her. One guy said he will pay for it, and she was like, nah, I'm good. And then he turned around, he punched her in the face. Well, no, they waited till she got outside after she paid for her stuff, and then they punched her in the face. They grabbed her.
You see, so I had conversations with sisters, and they told me, they said, I feel what you're saying, OBASI, and they hit me with some real talk. They said, I feel what you're saying, OBASI, but they said, if we as black women, this was a single sister, she said, if I was to be abused right now by a man, who would I come to? And I had to really think about and give her that on what she was saying. It's like, we have to have something. We got to have safe spaces to, when somebody do something to our children, that's the only reason why we continue to be picked on, because ain't no consequence. I talk about that on here all the time. There's no consequence.
But it ain't no consequences. But I will say this, man. The men got to step up, man. The men got to step up, man. We got to be men. If you got family, you got sisters.
What does that look like, though, bro? Yeah. What does that step up look like, though, bro? What would that look like for us?
Man, it's just a man taking his responsibility, man, and doing what he got to do, man, to protect, man. He got to protect. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm married. I protect my wife. You know, I protect my daughter. They call me, I'm coming. They know the business. You get what I'm saying? By any means necessary. If I pull up, it's a problem. If my wife or my daughter call me and say it's a problem, it's a problem. You get what I'm saying? And I'm pulling up like that. By any means necessary. If I got to do jail time or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's what we missing. We missing that because we keep disrespecting the sisters. You know what I'm saying? Even my sister called me. My sisters called me. Man, it's a problem. It's a problem, bro. It's a problem to the fullest of my ability. I'm not just talking that. You know what I'm saying? It's a serious issue. Real talk.
And you know though, bro, and that's true though. But bro, the more, because there's not a lot of spots where brothers really talking real like this. You know, a lot of times they making the women. They say, well, what did she do? It doesn't matter. You ain't have no business putting your hands on her.
You ain't have no hands on no sister.
It doesn't matter what she did. That ain't saying I'm giving the woman the right to disrespect a man, because I believe the sisters need to deal with the sisters and the brothers need to deal with the brothers. And they sisters check the sisters and we check the brothers, and then we deal with where we get. But I'm with you on that, bro. But they have to hear enough brothers like us saying stuff like this. It's not many of us, or not enough of us, that's making noise like this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Is that due to the social control of the moist black male?
The moist black male. The moist black male. Well, I will say this. I get what you're saying. It does. You know what that is. Yeah, it has something to do like Atlanta, man. Atlanta is ran by women and Tinky Winkies. I'm just being for real. You know, I'm just, you know, I'm being polite. I'm being polite since we got to.
Exactly.
There it is. So, you know, the Rainbow Group, you know, peace be unto them. Whatever they do, whatever, that's on them. Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying is, when that comes into play, there is no recreation. That right there does not recreate, point blank. That goes against the laws of nature, which is gender. One of the laws of nature is gender. And and us being black, melanated man and woman, we are students of nature. When Kemet, we were students of nature, point blank. And it does have a lot to do with that. I'm just being for real. It does have a lot to do with that. You know what I'm saying? And it's bad because now they have the momentum advantage. I'm gonna tell you why. They have the advantage because let's just say me and OBASI get on TV. And I know, you know, me and OBASI love that, but we gonna table that for a moment. Just say me and OBASI get on TV, right? And we talk about the letter group, the ABCDEFG group. You know, it's gonna be a problem. You know what I'm saying? Our social media probably gonna get disconnected and stuff like that. But when crime was down in certain states, that group is documented, it's in the newspapers, was claiming that it was up with no real numbers.
It was cooking the books, you're right.
Because it's an agenda, man. It's an agenda. When crime was low with black men, they said it was up with no real numbers. And it was a black lawyer that bust them out. So, you know, man, we don't have no real numbers, no way, because we don't have the institutions or the facilities set up where we can where we can make our presence known and be like, okay, what's the real numbers? What we got going on here? What systems y'all using? Okay, what's the backup? Who backing this up? Okay, what's going on with this? We ain't got nobody do no stuff like that, man. I'm just being for real, man.
Nah,
I'm just being real as can be is to be real, and y'all know I'm gonna be real.
nah.
We don't have the systems in play, man, to even show it. But then the sisters right now do have the momentum.
Nah, that's
I'm talking about in almost every state.
But yes,
you know, the grant money is for the sisters. The rehabilitation is for the sisters. They even starting to build homes for the sisters. Well, I ain't gonna say sisters, black and white, whoever needed, because when something was for us, the European and other races profited more off of it than us. You know what I'm saying? The women's movement was really dealing with black people, but the white woman is the one who got it. Then they made the little image of the white woman with the thing on the head with a fist up. You know, that stem from us. So that's why I say we don't have no systems in place, man, to make sure that we get what we get. And then we got some type of check system. You know, where these numbers coming from? You say crime is up, you know, how we know crime is up? You know, what has taken place? Like, what's the real statistics? Even not dealing with COVID. What's the real statistics? What's the real numbers?
You won't know. But yeah,
we'll never know.
I want to piggyback off that and ask the sister if she can hear us still. What are some of the systems she think we need now to kind of fix some of the problems that she see daily?
Okay. So, first and foremost, we need culture. That's what we need. We need culture. That's most important because we lack culture in our community. Okay, as you can see what's going on in the Black community, there's a lot of discombobulation going on. There's a lot of this group right here say they this, they that, so there's no infrastructure. So that's one thing. We need infrastructure. We definitely need rite of passage. That's very important. You know, you got to introduce the boys to manhood and introduce the girls to womanhood. Of course, you know, we need healing. Mental, you know, like mental institution. We need that. And we need better economic system, because the system that we in, I'm gonna be honest, capitalism has not done a lot for us as Black people on the collective level. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the reasons why there's so much crime going on in our community, because of the economic system that we in. All right. So when you're dealing with a rat race where everybody trying to, you know, get where they can get in and survival, the business, whatever, it benefits those on the individual scales or, you know, certain group of people. But as a collective, it doesn't benefit us. So we would have to change our economic system and go to a system, something like socialism or democratic socialism, you know what I mean? Because that means that we can be able to control the narrative and be able to control the, you know, resources that we need. So that's the main key. And we have to understand, we have to know the type of society that we live in. You know what I'm saying? We have to know our society. We have to know, like, who the oppressors are. And we have to understand why they are the oppressors. We really have to understand it. So when people say that we need to do away with critical race theory, no, we don't need to do away with that. That needs to be brought up in discussion. That needs to be the topic, because let's be technical. Let's be technical. White people has created Black people what they are today. I mean, we gotta be honest. You know, we are the creation of white folks. You know what I'm saying? So what I mean about that, because somebody mentioned social engineering. Through social engineering,
Breaking up.
She froze up.
Oh, she broke out. She on it.
Yeah,
I like
man. You need to check out her shows, man.
I like where she's going.
You be out some good PowerPoints too, man.
Yes. She's just gonna go in. She did that critical race theory. Facts.
She hit that. That was the last red flag right there.
Yeah. She owned it. Yeah. She owned it.
19 right there.
Hey man, I had a guy tell me, man, I don't supposed to be talking about the mind unless I'm a doctor.
Of course, they say stuff like that. So what
you trying to tell me? You trying to tell me the number one key thing that's destroying the black man, the mental. Another black man can't talk about it, and I come from poverty as well, dealing with the mental. Now I'm into consciousness.
I mean, what were y'all talking about for him to even make that comment? First of all, before I even asked the question.
We talking about science, man. You know I be dibbling, you know I be dibbling and dabbling about it.
Man.
It's cool. It's cool. He showed me the law. It's against the law to do that. But guess what? Y'all know I don't care.
Yo, if we're gonna get Tiffany right back. Little technical difficulties.
She coming back in.
We gonna run her back.
Yeah, we're gonna get Tiffany back.
We gotta get
Tiffany put her back in so she can go on, man. She can go and break it down.
We're gonna pick right back up where she at because I like where she's going.
Yeah, she gonna pick right back up.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's gonna be the first
thing, though, man. If you don't understand the mind, we can't understand how we got in this situation.
Man, listen, man. Listen.
I mean, listen, man.
I'm being for real. Oh, she back. Go ahead, Tiffany.
Okay, I'm sorry about that.
You good? Go ahead. You don't keep that same vibe, man. You was red hot. Go ahead.
And you was talking about critical race theory and social engineering and how we are the white man.
Yeah. I was saying, the social engineering and social stigmas. If we learn about the stigmatization and how it has affected us greatly, then we'll be able to learn how to have a better mind frame. And then we also got to learn about our living condition as well.
No, you was rolling on how they created what we are. That's where you
right. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. Through social stigmatization and social engineering is what created us to what we are. You know what I'm saying? As far as like mentally, that broke us down mentally, and we were always told that we were inferior to this group. You know what I'm saying? We were less valuable to this group. And the only thing valuable about us is our skills to do something as far as manually is concerned. But outside that, and even to this day, even though they try to make it seem like it's all integrative and they try to put up the laws about what's his name? George. What's the guy's name that was killed? George Floyd. Yeah.
George Floyd?
Yeah, even though they try to, put a law about the discrimination, whatnot, call themselves trying to honor him or whatnot, but still the mentality, the attitude is there. So what I'm saying is we have to understand how the ideology, right, the white supremacy ideology came into existence, okay, and how it has made them more privileged and how it's affected us and put us at the bottom of the map. Then I was gonna say something about the ghetto.
Go ahead, sister. No, go ahead.
Okay, and we had to understand as far as our living conditions, how we end up in the projects, how did we end up in the hoods, how did we end up staying over here? You know what I'm saying? Like we have to go into those history. What was the homestead about? What was the redlining situation about? Why does the redlining exist? So it's like we really have to educate ourselves on a lot of things. And it's a lot of information that's out there. But it takes a lot of education. So
I want to go back and jump on this CRT or the critical race theory that you was talking about. Because what's interesting is they use us as advocates. I was studying this and looking at it, and they got this dumb Negro that stands up and he says, he's in the middle of like the PTA meeting. It was a PTA meeting. So he stands up and he says, we don't need this in our school. We don't need to be teaching hate. He's a black guy now, this is what I mean, a moist dude. This is what I'm talking about. So he stands up and he says, we don't need to be teaching them how to hate or dislike white people. Everybody did. You see where this going? So at the helm of this critical race theory, we can't even analyze anything from an objective point, dealing with them, even anything to make them remotely look racist, because they said we can't make them look racist. Well, we can't. I don't think we could do that if they make themselves look that. You know, and then if you look at that,
already have that ideology there. You know what I'm saying? History gonna tell it all. I mean, people see that, so we're not here to make you look racist. See, the problem is what they want is the conformity. They want you to make the other group feel comfortable. And it's like when the thing is, when you tell stories, especially when it comes to history, you have to be very honest. Everything about history is not going to always come from a good standpoint. It's not going to always be very comfortable. There's going to be some things that you're not going to like to hear. There's going to be some things that you don't want to hear. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be some things that's going to make you mad. So if we can't talk about critical race theory, then how you going to talk about American history? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You got to talk about it. You got to bring that into the conversation. And to that brother that said that goes to show you he's very ignorant. And
that dude, he wasn't no brother.
He doesn't know any better. He's very ignorant. Or either he just too ashamed to have that conversation. He want to be in good standstill with white people. And I get that, you know, you want to be able to work with humanity and you want to respect all humanities, but you know, when it comes to serious conversation like this, you got to have it. You know, you don't get to say, well, let's not talk about this because it's going to make our kids hate the other group. No, it's not about that. You got to teach them the truth. Now, at the end of the day, they going to choose how they feel. And outside that, they going to end up experiencing that on their own. So they going to end up seeing that and they going to wonder, well, why is this way? Why did this person say this to me? Why was I called this? Then that's when you're going to have that conversation. So a lot of our folks, we try to duck away from it. We try and say, okay, that's the past. Let the past go. You got to focus on the future. Don't even talk about that no more. That's just a thing of the past. You gotta move on with life, etc. No, it doesn't work the way. It's not that easy. You can't tell a group of people that has dealt with social oppression and racial oppression all their life to let things go. You can't do that. You know what I'm saying? That's something that deals with generational trauma. So when you're in the middle of generational trauma, you cannot just let things go. You just can't just wake up one morning and say, oh, I'm going to get over it. That's going to require a lot of healing, and it's going to require a lot of conversation, which may be very uncomfortable to have.
And that's fact. So, and actually what it does, it disarms your children. It disarms the children, and it makes these children think that the world is nice to them. It disarms our children. And it makes them think that white folks, others, whoever are their friends, it makes them seem non-threatening. And that's the last thing we need to do. As you're saying, you're right, in this educating our own, we have to be very vocal and blunt. But see, and that's how you hit it right on the head. We got to come back to our culture. Because if you have our children sitting in the middle of this, you can have them, as Nana Amos Wilson would say, you can have a white child and a black child sitting in the classroom getting the same education, but it's going to be a different outcome. One is being trained to run the world, and the other one is being trained to work in it. So this whole thing of this equality is a phantom and nonsense that we're chasing. So yeah, that's why I like the whole thing of the critical race theory, because I always think, and you can kind of, you know, tell me what you think. What does the two generations down the line look behind critical race theory? How does the children look 2 generations from now under this critical race theory? For just our children.
Well, that's a good question.
You see?
That's a good question. Well, they going to, I think 2 generations from now, they may have more sense of awareness, and they're going to start learning how to embrace themselves even more. Yeah, they'll have some form of sense of awareness. But I also believe, because of the direction things are going, that it's going to, I mean, somebody's going to try their best to eliminate it. So with the elimination, they're going to be falling under this illusion that okay, everybody, you know, we're getting along, and you know, racism is a thing of the past and it's no longer existing. So I look at it two ways. I look at it either it's going to prepare them and it's going to make them more aware, or they're going to look at it as a thing of the past. Right. Oh, and another thing I want to bring up, also, it's like when we try to have a culture, it's like there's the whole thing about people trying to control the narrative. And I see this, especially when it's very common with women trying to control the narrative of the men as far as how they raise their sons. It's like this, you know, this whole toxic masculinity and this toxic femininity brings about this divisiveness or this false dichotomy amongst men and women. And it shouldn't be like that at all. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no toxic. First of all, there's no toxicity in masculinity. There's no toxicity in femininity. There's toxic individual and there's toxic attitudes. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Femininity can never be toxic. Masculinity can never be toxic. And it's funny. We hear women say things like, oh, we need real men step up in the community, this, that, and other, XYZ. Okay. We need more of our men to raise our boys and teach our boys things they need to know. And when the man come along, right, and he trying to teach the boy or teach his son the way that he needs to know as a man, then you got the woman trying to interfere and interject by saying, you raising him, this is not right. The way you doing it, this is very toxic. Don't raise my child like that. That's toxic masculinity. It shouldn't be this way. Well, then you don't get to control that because you're not the man. I mean, the only thing you can do is make sure that your son is protected, is in good hand with his father or a father figure. You know what I mean? That's all you can do, but you cannot sit here and try to dictate what manhood is because you're not that male. You're not a male. You know, you're a female. You can only teach your son what he needs to know about women and what he needs to know as far as the human being is concerned and how to have good character. And even if you try to act like a male, you still ain't got that biological instinct as a male. You know what I'm saying? So that's something that he has to get from his father or a father figure. So that's why I'm saying that especially boys, they need their fathers. Because most boys want to be around their dad or a father figure. They don't want to always be under their mamas all day. You know what I'm saying? Or they don't want to just be under females all day. They want to be around, you know, the male figure. And I just don't feel that it's right that there are women who interfere with that, who try to dictate and control the narrative and try to say that, you know, this is toxic masculinity, this is not how you do it, etc., etc. Well, okay, so which one is it? Do you want the male to raise a man and let him know that what manhood look like, or do you not want him there? And this is one of the reasons why men don't want to be around their kids, because the mama is interfering. So we gotta be technical about that. We gotta be very honest about that. We see this common behavior more often from women than we do with men. And when you do that, you bring an interference and you hinder the relationship that the father has with his children, especially with his son. Now, if he's one of them dudes that ain't trying to do nothing, they don't want to be around or anything like that, then that's a different story. You know what I'm saying? Or if he ain't doing what he needs to do, then that's different. But if he's doing what's necessary as a parent and he's making the effort, then don't try to take away their ability. Don't stop that. You know, allow him to be that father that he needs to be. Allow him to teach him what he needs to know, because at the end of the day, we still in war. You know what I'm saying? We still in the psychological war. You know what I'm saying? We still in this physical war in a sense. All right. We may not be on the battlefield, but we're in a war because we're dealing with the stigmatism. I mean, the stigmas. We still dealing with the prejudice, discrimination. So it's like we're in the midst of the war. So war ain't ended. You know what I mean? So you gotta let your sons know that, hey, you a black male. Before anything else come along, you're a black male, and this is what you're going to deal with. This is what you're going against. This is your odd. And the mother got to tell the daughters, and the mother got to tell the daughter, hey, you're a black woman. This is your odd. This is what you're going against, and this is what you got to deal with. And so I just want to put that out there.
Well said.
Yeah. And I think I said this either the week before last, But I'm gonna go back to where you talked about the rites of passage. And I was talking about that, and I said we need to have rites of passage to really bring our boys into what's real masculinity. Because I was talking about, I was listening to that Lil Boosie, and we got to let this thing go as dads or males that thinking that when our sons turn 18. You know, we're going to hook them up with some girls and get them 2 girls and let them do this. That's not how we should bring our boys in, because what we're doing is bringing a bunch of hyper-sexualized and hyper-masculized boys up, and they're not understanding the sacredness of their sex. They're not understanding that we have to start being intentional about what we teach our boys. So that's what and I agree with. So that's what it is with the rites of passage. We have to really bring them into understanding that yes, it's your job, love, protect women, get you a girl, but let those things flow naturally. If my son, you know, or if a boy don't get some until he's 17, it don't make you no punk. If you ain't doing something, you got to get your foundation in order. You know, you got to get things in order before you have these things. So I think we just have to be intentional about what we're teaching them. And so much we leaving it up to the wrong type of men. And I'm glad you pointed it out, because that's what it is: toxic masculinity. And I don't even know when that really started popping and getting on like that. But it's just intentional about what we're teaching them and being more careful about not exposing them to too much too soon, but bringing them along, not coddling them either. Balance.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And as I was mentioning, I'm glad that you brought that up as far as like, you know, the hypersexuality thing. This is where sex education got to come into place. Yeah. Sex education is very much needed, especially in the public school system. I remember when I was in grade school, I was in the 6th grade, and we had to take sex education. Now, the only thing we had to get permission for was to watch the videos. And the videos was kind of graphic because you see the male anatomy, the female anatomy, and all of that stuff. But we had to take sex education because that was important. And I think that they need to bring that and make that a requirement in these school systems, especially in the middle school and high schools, because when the kids get into those stages, that's when they start to want to, you know, explore and have some type of experience. They want to know what it's like, you know what I'm saying? They get curious, especially about the opposite of sex. So you have to be able to teach them early on while they in that development period, and tell them about, you know, various type of disease out here, the contraceptions, you know, how to properly protect themselves, when to say yes, when to say no, rape, date rape, especially, you know, you got to have, you know, teen pregnancy, all of that. You got to have all those conversations. You got to have those lessons for those kids, so they will be able to know early on when they come across something or they get into that situation, they know what to do and they know what to call it and how to go about deal with it. And they should be able to have somebody they can talk to, like a guidance counselor, or they should be able to talk to you know, an elder that has been in their predicament and that can give them some type of word of advice or give them some type of wisdom. They should not be able to be afraid to ask questions regarding to these things, because sex is natural. Okay, let's just be technical. Sex is natural. We all going to experience it at some point. So you should never make your kids feel afraid of asking questions regarding to sex. And, you know, or sex life in general. You shouldn't make them feel uncomfortable. They should be able to come to you and sit down and have a question. Like if you have a daughter, your daughter should be able to come to you and ask you a question about boys and whatnot, and what is it that she needs to look for, like what warning signs and how to pay attention, how she know that if a guy is trying to run games on her, or if, you know what I mean, or what do she need to do if she feel like she in a situation where she's put under pressure or whatever. And the same thing, the boys should be able to come to their mamas and ask them questions about women, especially personal stuff like menstrual cycles and pregnancy and all of them. And mama should be able to tell them, you know what I'm saying? And same thing, the boy should be able to come to his dad, talk to his dad about his experience with, you know, sex in women. Girls should be able to talk to her mom about sex in men and things like that. So yeah, that needs to be that needs to be a curriculum in school. You know, that should be a requirement for graduation. Sex education, it needs to be a requirement. Yeah.
Wardo, you all right?
Yeah.
You sure? You good?
I'm good, man.
I clipped that little piece. But now, sis, you right on that. Tell us a little bit about yourself, though. Not to backtrack, but when did you become conscious? When did you know this was your calling? I love your head, too.
Okay. Now, I was trying to hear what you were saying. I couldn't hear you use...
When you got conscious. Or
okay, cool.
When did you find your calling? And I said, I love your hair, too.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate the compliment about my hair. My journey to consciousness, it began actually when I was back in college. So when I was like 18 years old, that's when it began, and I started studying about Illuminati, Freemasonry. I know y'all remember this documentary called Zeitgeist. Yeah. Y'all remember Zeitgeist?
Sound familiar?
Yeah. So I was watching Zeitgeist, which was like the awakening of my consciousness. So I was at that beginning stage. Then I started to interact with brothers from the Nuwaubian Nation, right? They used to be downtown at 5 Points. They used to be down there at the 5 Point train station selling their books or having debates with people and stuff like that. And I interacted with them. I never joined the Nuwaubians, but I used to talk to them all the time. And so I had got a couple of books from them. And so from there, I went from like have my interaction with Nuwaubians. I used to go to their classes when they had their classes out in, I think it was out somewhere out there in Scottsdale. It was over there in Scottsdale area, Avondale, Scottsdale area. So that's where they used to have their classes at. I used to go out there, and then from there I started to studying about the Hebrew Israelite culture. So I became a Hebrew Israelite back in 2012 until 2014. So I was into that. I was a non-Messianic Hebrew Israelite. I was under this brother named Yazi Nashavel. He had a temple called Shamarei HaTorah, which was located in the West End area, which was located on Ralph Abernathy, but they had moved further out. So I was there. You know, it was a good community. It was a good space. They were very African centered. They weren't like the average Hebrew Israelites. I tell you, they was very African centered. They always host various events there and stuff like that. So yeah, I enjoyed it, but I had left after a while because I couldn't keep on doing the Sabbath. You know, you had to go there every Saturday and stuff like that. So from there, I came across some brothers that were atheists. They called one of them called himself the Real Black Atheist. So and that would be Brother Unc. I don't know, some of y'all may not be familiar with Brother Unc. Yeah, you know Brother Unc. Yeah. Brother Unc, yeah. I've been knowing Brother Unc for quite some time. I mean, he's a good brother, but you know, he can be obnoxious. Let's put it like that. He can be obnoxious.
He can make himself in a very complex situation.
Yeah. That's the best way to explain it. But but yeah, they had the event. How I met him he had an event called Women and Religion, right, which is war. And he was speaking out against religion because he's an atheist and whatever. It was him and another brother named Black Son, and some more people that was there. It was a nice event, very nice event. I met him and I thought that it was great that we all dialogue and have a conversation. We was all at the Jamaican restaurant. And so from that point on, I eventually had to step outside the box and I said, okay, let me go off and do my own independent study and my own independent research. So I have done independent research, and I started studying more, and I'm like, oh, okay, there's a lot more things that I did not know. So Brother Unc has helped me. You know, he has connected me with some people that, you know, that can get me further on to my studies. So I do give him credit for that. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I met a brother named Ngozi. Brother Ngozi. Yeah, well, KENWARDO, you might know Ngozi because y'all both from Chicago area.
We know everybody you talking about.
Yeah,
okay. Okay, then. Yeah, so brother okay, so cool. Yeah, Brother Ngozi, Team Osiris. I got linked up with Team Osiris. I stayed with them for like a few years or whatnot. You know, and Ngozi has really done a lot. He has really helped me out the most. I remember we would have conversations, and you know, he would tell me a lot of things. He'll tell me, hey, look this up, look that up, whoopty whoopty whoop. And so from there, I just went on. But I left Team Osiris because I wanted to really focus more on what I was doing. You know, as far as like do my own study, do my own shows and stuff like that, my platform and all. So yeah, I'm here today. You know what I'm saying? So that's my journey. Yeah. Anything else?
I think I first came across.
Huh?
I was saying that you're doing a good job with your platform, and I like it. I like the information you give, how you do your PowerPoints and stuff. I think the last show I
also, I see. I forgot to mention. Also, I had interaction with the Nation of Gods of Earth as well. I forgot to put that out there. So the Nation of Gods of Earth. And shout out to my wonderful friend, my good brother Divine. So he, yeah, I had met him, and I went to the Parliament.
You said Divine?
Yeah.
I thought Divine was a Hebrew Israelite.
No, you know, this is a different Divine. You talking about Divine Prospect. You talking about Divine Prospect, but that's a good brother too. Shout out to Divine Prospect. He's a good brother as well. Shout out to him. He very intelligent. I mean, that brother is very bright. He got it going on. He doing his thing. But no, it's another brother. But yeah, I reached out to him, and we went. I went to the Parliaments. They used to have it right over there in the West End area, but I don't know if they still doing it because I ain't been there lately. But yeah, I used to go there to the Parliaments all the time. And I met some great brothers and sisters out there. So I never joined the 5% organization. I just know about it, just my interaction. So yeah, I just wanted to put them out there. I can't forget about those brothers and sisters.
Right.
I think I first came across you on my brother Netanel.
Yeah, Netanel. Yeah, he good people. I love Netanel.
Yeah, that's my dude right there. And he was shouting out to you, and you and him was dialogue. And so that's when I first went, and I saw a couple of your videos. So yeah, that's how I found it.
Yeah. Netanel, yeah, that's good people though. Yeah, I love Netanel. Yeah. I tell him
he's a genius all the time. He teaches me a lot with his linguistics, and I tell him, I said,
he big on linguistics. Yeah, he's very passionate about it. Very passionate. Mm-hmm.
Tell us about your show. What's the name of your show?
Well, it's my name, Tiffany French. Tiffany French. Just type in my name, and you'll see it. Yeah, I just got a lot of information on there. I deal with a lot about African American history, or just African history in general. And I talk about other stuff, like other social issues that goes along with that. Talk about a little bit of science, psychology, because I'm into science, I'm into psychology and anthropology type stuff. But my main thing is dealing with African history and African in the diaspora.
Tiffany, I gotta ask you something. Did Unc tell you to take the jab?
I decided to take that on my own. He ain't have to tell me. I took it on my own.
You took it on your own. Unc tell you take the jab, man. Unc tell you take the jab.
No, he didn't tell me.
Okay.
He didn't tell me. Yeah, I took it on my own. I took it because I wanted to. At first I wasn't gonna do it. Then I said, you know what? I might as well just go ahead and do it. You know what I'm saying? Because like certain places, they bring about restriction.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like certain places bring restriction on you. They tell you, oh, you can't come in here if you don't have vaccine or whatever. So I said, well, I might as well just go ahead and take the COVID vaccination and just get it over with. So, you know, but I'm okay. I mean, I took it twice. So I took the Pfizer one. So it ain't do nothing to me. I'm all right, you know.
That's
yeah, but don't talk about taking the vaccine. He really does. He get into all of that. He really stressed all of that stuff. Like, he's big on that. So yeah, most of the time.
we had him on the show. We had put it out there. It's a 4-hour show.
Oh, okay. Y'all had him on here. Okay, cool.
About 4 hours and 30 minutes show.
Yeah. Like I said, you know, he can go in and he can be very obnoxious.
Extremely.
Obnoxious. But, you know, he don't mean no harm by that. You know what I'm saying? He just very passionate about, you know, getting the scientific knowledge out there to the people and whatnot. But me and him done had some disagreements. Me and him done had certain fallouts about certain things, you know, as far as his narrative.
Everybody has had disagreements and fallouts with us.
Yeah, but I done had it heavily with him because it's like, I mean, it's like, you know, I'm all for science. I'm big on science, but at the same time, I feel like we also got to be able to have cultural interpretation. I do believe that there is a white man version of science and the black version of science, meaning that as far as like interpretation is concerned, from a cultural standpoint, you know, which is dealing with the ethnoscience. So the ethnoscience deals with how culture go about practicing sciences, you know, how different cultures practice science.
Correct.
So yeah, and that's where we have our little disagreement at. Like, you know, I guess he doesn't really understand my narrative on that. So it's like, yeah, that's where I say, I mean, again, I love science, but I don't want to be a science fanatic, because being a science fanatic is like being a religious fanatic. You know what I mean? So I want to be able to balance it out. That's why I love anthropology, because anthropology deals with the study of humanity in general. It deals with cultural anthropology. It deals with biological archaeology. It deals with social and linguistics. So it's like you can study all those things in one combination.
Right.
You have you read "Let the Circle Be Unbroken"?
I heard that. Was it by Marimba Ani?
Yeah, Marimba Ani. She also wrote. I never read that book, but I heard that book. Yeah, she also wrote Urugu, and she's an anthropologist. You know, she's the African centered, but she's an anthropologist. And a lot in that, you know, will be helpful for you.
Right. I agree. Yeah. So, yep. So that's my journey, and that's where I'm at today. And I still got a lot of growing to do, and also I deal with other studies like pantheism, Sufism, Taoism, learn about quantum physics. That's one of my favorite, because quantum physics is very complicated to understand, but that's one of my favorite science, because it's like I'm trying to find a connection in to understand consciousness and with quantum physics. So yeah, that's a whole nother topic though. But
a whole nother topic.
Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation to have.
Yeah, that's a whole.
Yeah, but I like to study philosophy, Stoicism. So those are like the main subjects I love to get into. And like I said, like African tradition, religion, like the Akan and stuff like that. I'm trying to get into that. So it's a lot on my plate.
That's good. That's good, because it's a maximal law in commerce.
Hermeticism.
Say again. Who?
Hermeticism. The Kabbalion. Yeah. That's why I came into the game at but there was no there is no Hermes Trismegistus. It's only Jehudi, which is thought. But what I was gonna say was there's a maximal law that says one man doesn't know anything, but many men know everything. That's why we should always be doing comparative studies, comparative religious studies. Everything should be from an unbiased perspective, learning new information as if you never knew it. You know what I'm saying? And we can't come in to learning information with our own ideology. If we do, then we will curve the information that we are resonated with, and then we will
begin to form chaos. You know, but if you learn it, you know what I'm saying, from an unbiased perspective, you know, I tell anybody, you know, you'll be fine. You will begin to overstand yourself more and to learn more and definitely know the way that you're supposed to go as far as your path.
Yep, you're right. Right.
What you say, Rebel?
I said nicely said. But yeah, we're gonna get out of here. Tiff, you want to shout out somebody? Give all your info out right now. Everything you got.
Okay, like I said, you guys can find me on YouTube, which is Tiffany French. Also, you can find me on Facebook, and I mainly be on my Facebook page. I have an Instagram page, I have a Twitter page, but most of the time you'll see me on Facebook. So yeah, and I got I got 3 Facebook pages, but one of them I don't use. So it's Tiffany French, and the other one is Golden Wisdom. So yeah, just type in Tiffany and then type in Golden Wisdom, and you'll see my page. It's the little the other page has like the red, black, and green flag on there. It says Black Health, was it Black Minds Matters? So yeah, you'll find that page. It's Golden Wisdom, and Tiffany. You'll see my picture on there, so you'll see me in the hoodie and all that. And of course, you find my YouTube channel, which is Tiffany French. So you guys can, you know, catch me on there.
I got one question before we go. Like, what inspired you? What made you want to, like, get a show to give out a lot of information to our people? What inspired you?
Well, my initial purpose was I wanted to do like a kind of like a debate show. You know, when I was with Team Osiris, I wanted to do something like that. I wanted to like give the brothers opportunity to get on there, because there was too many people coming on the posts and coming in the groups, you know, sending random information, you know, stuff that was outdated, pretty much pseudo. So we're like, okay, one day we're going to have a debate about this, but that didn't really turn out to be the case. So I just said, well, okay, I'll just put my focus into like putting more information, because I was catching a lot of flack on my page. I mean, if you saw my page, I was catching a lot of flack, you know, people coming on there. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Comments after comments, it'll be like 100 and some comments, 200 comments. I said, okay, I'm getting tired of this. I said, I'll tell you what, I just do my videos, I'll put a platform up, and I'll present sources to people, and they can go look this stuff up for themselves. That way I ain't even got to keep typing all day, because after a while you get tired of typing. Right. So, you know what I'm saying? So I was going back and forth with people. I'm like, look, oh my goodness, this is just so redundant. So I said, all right, I'm just going to post up the videos or whatnot and do that. And that pretty much is what inspired me. So it was to pretty much give sources to those who did not know where to go and like where to ask that information. Right. And it's funny that people like to use Wikipedia to, you know, use Wikipedia to support the pseudo claims that they making, right? So I said, okay, well, you can use Wikipedia to also verify, you know, information or accurate information as well. You know what I mean? So, you know, you can be able to go on Wikipedia, look at the references at the bottom of the page, and then click on the reference. And then also I would supply like books and articles, what people can look into, like various articles, various books out there. So it's a lot that, you know, you can do. You just have to take the initiative, and you have to know what you're looking for. And so, it brought the inspiration.
Well, if you ever want to be on want your show to be on Rebel Vision Television, let us know.
All right.
Let us know, sister.
Yeah.
Sister, take care of yourself.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Rebel. Go ahead.
Oh, now. Thanks for coming through. We love your spirit. Your spirit is beautiful, and hope to have you back on some update thing. We might could do some things too. I love your spirit. I'm gonna contact you and see if you want to do some things I got in the works. But definitely, Tiff, you're one of the last queens left. Keep doing your thing.
All right, thank you.
And that's what I was gonna say. You know, be safe out here. Keep doing your thing. I like what you're doing. I like the fact that you don't have no YouTube degree. I also like the fact that you you know what I'm saying, you present real source material, because that's how I got my name. I presented source material. That's actually how I met You know, me and him battling in the West End. And but yeah, just you know what I'm saying, just keep your path, keep what you have before you, and man, you know, greetings and peace and love.
All right, then. Thank you. Thank you guys for having me on here, and I hope you guys do the same.
Yeah,
all right.
All right, sister, stay peace.
Follow.
All right, take it easy. Peace.
Peace.
Like, subscribe, and follow you.
That's right.
All right, then.
Gotcha.
All right, thank you.
Salute, Queen. Us.
Yeah, the sister doing her thing, man.
Yeah, I've been following. She give information. She give a lot of check out. Well, I follow her on Facebook. You know what I mean? But you know, she have a YouTube page, Tiffany French. You can see all the loads and loads and loads of information.
Yeah, Uncle is good and passionate with the science, but I like the example that she gave. You know what I'm saying? For us not being a fanatic. You know, which I know, you know, he passionate about that and he do his thing. But I mean, you know, I like that, man, that you can be strong minded and, you know, decipher information for yourself and present your own agenda and put out the information and put out source material. Because that's a problem, man. We got too many people on YouTube, man. Niggas, excuse my French. People don't have they not presenting no source material, man. They just, I mean, man, this is crazy, man. Everybody going off of videos. Don't nobody be on YouTube like all of us talk or whatever. We at least mention at least two or three books or a book. Don't nobody be talking about no books, man. You can get now one guy be like, oh, I got this information off this book. Nah.
That's the world we in. Whoever jump on stage is the star. So the only thing
I'm finna get on stage in a minute.
The only thing I hate about that is the youngins don't know who's who.
Yeah.
Right.
So
yeah.
Right into these.
That's what Ken was saying. The young people don't know who. Young people don't know what's what.
So it sounds good if you drop in science, but
that's true.
Or not truly infused with it.
And you're right, Rebel, because if I'm a newbie, a rookie, you drop something on me and it hit me, I'm like, oh, that man got the sauce. That's it. That's how your boy got a lot of followers. What's his name? The skinny dude that jumped on his baby mama. I hate mention something negative, but I'm trying to think of the brother. What's his name, man? I forgot his name.
Talking about Young Pharaoh.
Yeah, Young Pharaoh. Yeah.
They are shit. They cancel his YouTube account, man.
Oh yeah, because he crazy.
Nation Academy said.
He was making a lot of his income on YouTube through YouTube.
He made a lot of money.
Yeah.
Shit, a lot of people making a lot of money. I think that's the problem. YouTube is paying everybody to waste everybody's time.
Yep. It's a very, very simple agenda.
Yeah, man. I'll pay you if you watch your bullshit.
Yep, and it's all dealing with the mental. Everything is going after the mental. The news going after the mental. TV shows going after the mental. There is no real and pure information on the TV as itself, unless you pull up Netflix and watch a documentary. There's nothing on, and that's not even pure. That's just giving you a piece of something that you got to go and research. And a lot of people ain't gonna do no research, and they're gonna take the documentary at face value instead of going and research and checking out the information. Everything is mental, man. Everything is the mind, man. Everything they're going after the mind, after the mind, after the mind. Keep you occupied. If you occupy for 40, 50 years, man, you ain't got nothing. You a bum.
Okay, and they create a narcissist with this fake fame. They paying people with fame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody gassed up. You know what I mean? So I like that YouTube degree line.
Yeah, I tell a brother in a minute, come to me talking that crazy stuff, man. Wherever I'm at, man. If I ask you a question, and you can't tell me what book it come out of, you're a YouTube scholar, man. And YouTube scholars, man, I set them on fire. I crush them. Yep. Don't come this way, man. Yep. You got a YouTube degree, man. Go get you some business. Go read some books. Yep. If you ain't educating your mind, you ain't feeding that mental or your spirit, man. Get out of my face, man. You hearing voices. You listening to spirits in the tube that you don't that's giving you false information.
You want followers, false leaders.
But then check this out. That's what what's the God movie called, man? What's the God movie? Something of Gods. Something of Gods. What's that God movie called?
Got crackers in it.
Yeah, man, like Odin. Hold on one second. All of them. Huh?
Zeus, Odin, and them.
Yeah. Hold on, I'm finna get it for you right now, man. I'm finna tell you the whole thing about it too, and you hit the followers right there, man.
Clash of the Gods, Titans.
I'm finna tell you exactly what it is. 1 second, man.
That'd be a deep jewel of this.
Man, they ain't even giving it to me. They give me everything but the real deal.
What is it? Good down there, man? It's good.
Huh?
Waldo, you good, baby?
Oh yeah, man. I'm all right.
We gotta go beat somebody up, man. Offline.
It's they wouldn't let me. I had to come in through the browser. They wouldn't let me come back on the Zoom app.
Yeah, you know they behave.
Well, anyway, in the God movie, man, you got the old gods. I mean, you got the new gods. You want to be like the old gods. And see, that's the thing I preach and I harp on the mental. And you got to think about it. What makes a God? When people give up their mental energy, like all these Christians go to church and they pray to Jesus every Sunday or twice a week. Where's that energy going? Because you are a vibratorial frequency and you have rhythm. So when you're giving up your energy, it's going somewhere. That energy going somewhere. And like in the God movie, let me get the name of this movie for my son. And in the God movie, man, you had the new gods against the old gods, and it was all about followers who gonna worship me.
You're right. I think I know what you're talking about. It might have a line in there where he's like,
hold on. Hey son, what's the name of that God movie that we be watching? What's the name of the movie?
Nah, I think I know what this is.
Yeah. It's the title is God with Odin in it.
He said, "Yo."
Okay. All right.
He said, "Yo, we losing power because they stopped praying to us."
American gods.
American gods.
Nah. Just think about this, man.
You talking about the show American Gods?
Yeah, the show American Gods. Just think about this, man. The mental. Think about the mind. Check this out. Now in the movie American Gods, you got the new guys against the old guys. Everybody won't follow us. And some guys, the mental capacity of us worshiping them has created them physically and given them the abilities. So when you stop worshiping them, they losing their physical and some of their abilities. So they're now on earth. And the new guys want what the old guys used to have, the power, the juice, followers. So you got the new guys, Facebook, Instagram, they are social media. You know what I'm saying? How many followers you got, who you going to follow. That's when they're getting their energy from, because it's the mental capacity of the mind that energizes entities into existence. Now I got a source material for you. It's called Making You a Spiritual Entity. And you can't do that with the mental capacity of the mind. And certain witches has practiced this. You know what I'm saying? When you get into certain rituals, when you're dealing with witches who studying who's studying the spiritual world and stuff like that. They sometimes can create little entities to do their bidding and also to empower them as well. So that's the whole thing about it, man. They trap in the mental mind and got everybody in an uproar, man. And they doing a good job of it.
Yeah, they let the people eat off it, but the science was used by iPhone, Nike, RCA, fucking crab cheese,
yeah,
fruity pebbles. I'm talking about making you a spiritual entity. These is, yo, that's my shit. I always this. I always tap this. So that energy been being pulled, but now they like, yeah, give them a little something, let them feed off each other, and because they got a bigger plan.
They got a bigger plan. You got to think about it, man. Where's all that energy going every Sunday, man? How are they directing their energy to do what they want to do? Even the mosque, when you go and praying to Allah, what's the big square overseas that everybody go pray? What's that, Jews or something? Or is that Islam? The box they go walk around and pray to?
That's
man, that right there can be another big old antenna to send energy somewhere else, man.
We're not getting conspiracy, but they said the aliens be snatching that.
The energy?
Yeah.
I'm not getting conspiracy, man, but sometimes we have to think above and beyond and think outside the box. There's too many things that's not a coincidence that happens on planet Earth. There is no real answer for it. So that leads me to do research. That leads me to dig deeper. Sometimes the books that I have is dealing with African spirituality does not get it. I'm into the Heka, Heka. That's dealing with African spirituality. There are certain spiritual things in Kemet that they don't even mention because they don't want us to know the real power. There are certain names of certain Kemetic gods that they won't even mention. There are certain Kemetic gods that they have been taken out of the museums, and my source material for that is Quasi. My source material for that is Mfudishi, and my source material for that is Professor Smalls. And I say that they're my source material, not saying that they're a book, because they do a lot of African tours and they show the videos on YouTube, and you can go see where they have been moving these particular statues out the museum, or they move them to a whole nother wing that has nothing to do with African spirituality. Why are y'all moving these particular entities around? That's just point blank. And then you begin to look these people names up. I looked up one name, man. It's not a lot of information on that. Heka, Heka, ain't a lot of information on that. It's not a lot of YouTube videos on that. Not even no books. I got one book that I found it in, maybe two. I'm gonna give you the name of this book. Matter of fact, I think it's on my tablet. And this book right here is a bad book, man. A bad book. And I had an African sister who told me about the book, and it took me almost 6 months to get the book because it wasn't out for sale nowhere. And how I got it was I made a donation to this nonprofit because they have books online for its PDFs, and that's how I got the book. It's called The Book of Master. That's another good book.
Check that out.
Book of Master.
Yeah.
And it's another one too. I got it too. I'm trying to get it for you. Somebody tried to bust me out one day. It's like, man, you ain't doing nothing. Nah, brother, you ain't doing nothing. They gonna stop inboxing me too, because every time they inbox me, I put a nail in them, man.
I don't know, man. Exclusiveness, man.
Man, they gonna get that. They gonna get this. But yeah, this book right here is called The Book of Master, man. It's another book. Hold on, I'm finna get it for you right now. Now this book right here is good too.
A lot of books could be called The Book of Master.
Say that again.
I said a lot of books could be called The Book of Master.
It could, you know what I'm saying? But this is really dealing with Egypt Kemet and African spirituality.
Real master.
Mm-hmm.
Master of the universe. That's us. All these grandkids.
Cool.
Yo, where could I get that fire clothes from, man?
Man, you can check me out at Aesthetics Apparel, ESTHETIKS, Instagram and Facebook. Click the link in the bio. And if you want any custom t-shirts and apparel did, also custom snapbacks, you can also go to Elite Wardrobe Shop, and that's Facebook and Instagram. Anybody want to call me, 404-913-7165. I'm always available. Call me. If I don't answer, leave a message or shoot me a text. You know what I'm saying? That is my my business number for both of the businesses. So yeah, hit me up anytime. Knowledge Born 7, and my name used to be Knowledge, but the Bobbers told me I need to take it up a notch, and they gave me the name Knowledge Born 7. So y'all check me out on Instagram, Facebook, and get it in.
No doubt, and his knowledge is born. So I'll add in, y'all go check out Aesthetics, man.
Yeah, check out Aesthetics Apparel, man. I got a lot of fire stuff. I got a lot of new hoodies coming, man. New designs.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all done seen some of them, man. I got some smoke, man. Yeah. I don't know what they're gonna do. They're gonna have a problem in a minute, man. And I'm finna be doing custom apparel. You know, me, my wife, and my son, we're gonna take a trip to Cali. I met a guy out there who gonna do me cut and sew apparel, man. And man, he gonna take me to the garment district where they make the merch at, man. And you gotta think about it. This is where Carl Kanai went when he left New York. He went there before he went international. So I'm believing in the blueprint, and I already know it's gonna work. So, you know, one thing about me, if it ain't broke, I ain't trying to fix it. I'm not trying to really create the wheel dealing with apparel. I just want to get the merch made and put it out to the people.
Yeah, at a high level.
Facts.
Yeah. All right, King.
All right, man. Y'all be smooth, man. Y'all be smooth.
Salute, King.
All right, peace.
I got the mind of a king,
you should really protect them. Everybody talking, but Rebel really the next. I got the mind of a king, spread to never take this. Slavery, fake hip hop, you dead if you were racist. I got the mind of a king, you could never replace this. Blood from the mud, no love, so I'ma say I got the mind of a king. I know where I am from now. I'ma wake 'em up, you keep 'em sleep, it's up to me. I got the mind of a king.